Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. Today I'm going to show you how to fill a raised bed. This is a 2-foot wide, 6-foot long raised bed with 12-inch sides. And we're going to do this so that you don't have to dig or turn this ever again. We're going to set it up so that you're just going to put compost or mulch on top year after year, and you're just going to let worms and microbiology pull the nutrients down. So once this is set up, you don't have to dig or turn it anymore. So I just wanted to cut in here and explain, especially for new gardeners. Just because you have something that's called manure or compost, it doesn't mean it's 100% broken down. And that's what you want. So this is compost that's beautiful. It's 100% broken down. There's no need for it to break down any further. And you can actually plant right on this. It's not going to challenge your plant for nitrogen. But when you buy the bag stuff, sometimes it's still in the process of breaking down. And when it's still in that process of breaking down, it's going to challenge your plant for nitrogen, and you're going to have stunted plants. So let me get back to the video. I wanted to explain that, and this is what it's going to look like when you're done. Before we really get to that, I want to talk to you also about using manures in your garden, because if they're not fully composted, if they're not fully broken down, they're going to compete with your plants and take nitrogen from them. And that happens a lot when you plant in the spring, you put your transplants in, and then you put the cow manure products right on top of the soil, work it in a couple of inches, and your plants are stunted and they turn yellow. How do I know this? Because I've done it a couple of times. So you have to know kind of what you're buying. So for instance, let me cut this one open, and this is cow manure and compost. Manures, most of them are 0.05, 0.05, 0.05, 0.05 NP and K. Your plants don't need those huge numbers that we see. And if you put your hand in there, it's just basically soil and manure. It's not a high quality product. And if you smell it, it has an odor to it. Sometimes when the composts and the compost manures, combination of the products that you buy, when they smell bad, they're not fully broken down. And all that means is they're going to need more time. So when we're setting up a raised bed like this, you want to set it up knowing that you have a good 3 months to 5 months before you really plant in there, because you want your manures and compost to break down so they don't challenge your plants for nitrogen. This is black cow. This is also a cow manure. Manures will feed your plants slowly over the season. They're great for microbiology, and you can see the difference in this product, and there's very little odor to it. If we come over here, let's see if I can, you can see the difference. It's a nice darker material, smells less. I think it's broken down more, and that's really up to you. Let me get that out of the way, to really figure out what manures you're using. So the manure in this bag, lower quality, that's going to go into the bottom of the raised bed, and I'm going to let it break down there. This will get mixed into the middle, and let me show you what leaf grow looks like. And this is just beautifully broken down, composted, mostly leaves, some organic matter. This is great for soil life, great for loosening up clay soil, and this will get mixed into the upper layer of the raised bed. All right, so why is this important? If you use these two products that I'm familiar with, they're not going to really challenge your plants for nitrogen. If you put this product sold right next to it in my local hardware stores, that's going to challenge your plants, and you're going to wonder why your plants aren't growing. So we got a manure that's going to go into the bottom, deep into the raised bed, something that's going to go into the middle, and then my leaf grow. I'm also going to mix in regular soil, going to put shredded hardwood on top. If you want to subscribe to my channel for 2020, I'll show you how I bring this entire garden to life and get everything growing, set up the beds. So the first thing I want to do is just level this out, and then I'll come back. I leveled out the raised bed, and remember, it's 12 inches high. This is something you set up with the larger raised beds with bigger sides. And we're not going to have to dig in here again. Now, it's very confusing, so I want to say it again. If you buy bagged manures, or you buy bagged composts, or you buy a combination of both, sometimes they're not fully composted down. And because they're not fully broken down, when you put them in here, if you put them up higher where your first roots are forming for your plants, the microbiology to break down your compost and manure is going to be taking nitrogen away from your plant. So the lower grade material I'm just going to spread out along the bottom. And I won't be planting this until about April. So you want to set this up when you know your planting area has a good 3, 4, 5 months to really break down, let the microbiology come to life and digest all of this. Let me finish this up. I spread out the low grade manure or compost along the bottom, and now I'm bringing in my dirt. You can use any dirt. You don't need to worry about it. You're going to just let this develop over the years. Worms will aerate it for you and take care of it. So we're going to fill this maybe halfway with the dirt from around my area. So the dirt's down, and then the next layer is going to be your combination of the leaf grow, your compost, and the better manure. And if you have your own compost, it's really easy to fill your beds. Use 50% of your compost, 50% earth, fill your raised bed, and you're good to go. But if you don't have it, you want to do something like this with the store-bought products. And again, I want to stress, the stuff that you don't trust or you don't know that's fully broken down, put way down at the bottom. The better stuff put on top. Let me spread this out. So I used 3 bags of store-bought material. If you have a lot of compost, again, hopefully you do, go ahead and use that. But if you don't, cheap manures on the bottom. Manures are animal-based. This is all cow manure, really. The leaf grow is a product of leaves, branches, grasses, all that kind of stuff. That's my compost. Mix them equally across the top, just like that. And the only time you're going to turn it is one time. Mix that into a couple of inches of the dirt that you just put down. So I'll finish that up. Put another layer of dirt down. All right, the other layer of dirt's down. Leave about an inch or so on top. That's where you're going to add new compost or mulches, shredded hardwood at the beginning of the season. This is going to be planted with 3 tomato plants. This is going to sit January, February, March. It'll get planted in April, so about 90 to 120 days, and it'll be great for the tomato plants or whatever I put in there. When I go to put in my transplants, or maybe I put in some seeds, maybe I use some water-soluble organic fertilizer, just get them off to a good start. I will never need to turn this again. It will just stay here, and as I put the materials on top over the season, the worms will pull it down into the depth of the raised bed. Hope this gives you some ideas to understand how to use manures and composts. Key, again, I'm going to say it because you'll be disappointed if you put compost or manure on top of your bed at the root system level that's not fully broken down. Your plants will not flourish. They're going to look like they're sort of stagnated. They're going to probably get yellow, maybe purple. They're just not going to thrive and take off. It's because that compost, that manure wasn't fully broken down, and all the nitrogen in the soils being used to break down that compost and manure. In time, eventually it will break down and the plants that you put in will take off, but you don't want to waste a season. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com and subscribe to my channel. I'll show you how I take care of this entire garden in 2020.